subscribe our channel, stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. Ex cheated and convinced another man my baby girl is his. So this really happened about a year ago. I was dating this girl for about 2 years, and near the end of it, she started to ghost me. Come to find out, she had been cheating, just messages at first. They didn't sleep together until mid-December 2018. I read all the messages, for about 6 months with a guy that came to her on a rebound. A baby girl was born late July 2019. The time frame fits to where I believe there's no way she's the other guy's child. She also has my eyes, dark blue. Mom's are green, other guys are brown. Every question I asked, she had a response. She was born a month early, I didn't know I was pregnant. That sort of thing. I've begged for the last year for a paternity test. She's convinced her family I'm just a disgruntled ex harassing her. She got the guy to marry her, they bought a new house together, and in the meantime, dragged my name through the mud to her family, to the point that they refused to speak to me. My parents say drop it because they don't want my ex in the family. We had a few mutual friends that she's convinced I'm harassing, stalking her. I've tried to walk away several times, but it always feels wrong. Like if I drop it, I'm walking out on my child. My baby's 13-months-old now. I feel like a terrible person, but I know I'm only trying to do the right thing. Yeah, I showed up to her house, the day I found out about the baby, to try to get some answers. There was no breakup. She half ghosted me for months, then I found out about the other guy when she updated her relationship status on FB, and was met with threats of legal action. I hired a lawyer at the beginning of 2020, and things were starting to look up, until she referred me to another lawyer that specialized in paternity cases, only to never hear from them again. I've called every couple months only to be met with vague dismissals. I literally just want a test. Everyone tries to make me drop it with burdens of child support and child care, and if I'm honest, I never wanted a kid. But she's here now, and I feel like I have to at least try to do right by her. Not by my ex. By my child. If my ex and the other guy are happy together, cool. I doubt it because he came to my ex literally 2 weeks after getting dumped by his GF of 4 years, but that's neither here nor there. I just need to know. Edit, extra info. In December 2019, my ex had agreed to a test, but refused to allow me near the child, and changed her mind when I refused her stipulation of if it's positive, you have to promise to drop it and never contact me or my family again. I told her that's not how child care works, and flat refused. I have all the messages. You need a lawyer. I've been in contact with 3. They all seem disinterested. One told me it's an easy case, but then referred me to another who has yet to return my calls. Unless you can work out how to file a petition to the court yourself, though, you have to keep calling until you reach someone who will help. It doesn't sound like you'll convince your ex to agree otherwise. Get a good lawyer and do the test, or reach out to the other guy. I even told them that if he took the test and showed me that he was the father, they'd never hear from me again. Honestly, at this point, even if you did get proven the bio father, you wouldn't be on the hook for child support. Fun fact I just learned: if you are in the US, if you sign the birth certificate or act as a father for a set amount of time, you are on the hook for child support no matter if you are the bio dad or not. If it's worth the legal fees to you, you need to seek out a new lawyer. Bring enough evidence to warrant forcing the mother to allow the child to get a paternity test, and then if she is proven to be yours, get another lawyer to go to family court and get a custody agreement in place. I don't envy you skeptical. I'm sorry you are in this situation. Good luck. The only evidence I really have is the correspondence between us. That, and our eyes match. I don't want to discredit you, but eyes really don't mean much, sadly. I have family friends who are the most Italian people you could imagine, not pure-blooded, just noting for mental image sake, most old faithful souls you could imagine. Their son has green eyes and red hair, their middle daughter looks exactly as you would expect her, and their little one is blonde. All of them through to different great-great-grandparental genes. Genetics can go way beyond just mom and dad. Fiancé, female 31, said her ex is the love of her life. Throw away for obvious reasons. So I'm in a bit of a daze right now, to be honest. My fiancé F31, and I, M33, got engaged in October last year and have been in a relationship for 5 years now. Everything has been great and I can honestly say that I've never met anyone who comes close to her. She's been the love of my life for sure. I've known her most of my life, we grew up on the same street just round the corner from each other. Her mom and dad still stay in the same house and I still stay in the same house I grew up in, which my mom left to me when she passed away in 2014. We still don't officially live together yet, but for all intents and purposes she lives here. Her parents and her are really close though, and she still has her bedroom there and will occasionally spend the night there, but she's never away from here. Anyway, this morning I decided to go take a walk down to the shops to buy some things, and as I was about halfway down a 15-minute walk I realized I had forgotten my face mask. Masks are mandatory here in shops since 10th of July, so I had to walk back and get mine. When I walked in the door to grab the mask from the kitchen table, I heard her speaking to someone loudly on the phone in the living room, and she said, "Yeah, but David will always be the love of my life." David is her ex-boyfriend. I don't know a great deal about him, but I know they were in a relationship for 2 years and it ended a year before we started dating. He also dumped her. I just grabbed my mask and walked back out, and just as I got to the shops I felt weird and I had to sit down as my mind was going in 1,000 different directions. I eventually got back home and immediately told her I feel sick and sent her back round to her parents' house as I didn't want her about as I was ill. I'm now lying in my bed wondering what to do, to be honest. I know she didn't do anything wrong, it's not like she cheated on me or intentionally went out of her way to hurt me, but what's heard can't be unheard. She basically said that the person who she's agreed to marry isn't a patch on an ex she's not been with for 6 years. The fact she said he will always be the love of her life also means that it's a void game. Her heart's already been taken and there's nothing I could ever do to change that. Also, what would happen if he did come back into her life? You can't turn down the love of your life when they come calling, and I'd be dumped quicker than yesterday's leftovers. So what do I do? Tell her I was earwigging on her and heard her say that shit? Just end the relationship for a completely vague reason like, "Oh, it's not you, it's me," etc. Swallow my pride and pretend I didn't hear it? Everything has been wonderful, but there's no way on this earth I want to be someone's second choice, especially when her ex is the one on her mind that she obviously would be with if she could. I'm thinking about just saying it's not working between us. She's now texting me about coming round tonight and mothering and spoiling me 'cause I'm the sicky. Fuck that. Tell her and talk about the context. I'd at least call off the wedding depending on how she answers. Maybe break it off if the conversation goes south. Not your fault you heard that. I can say, as someone who is still in love with their ex, though it hasn't been nearly as long since we've been together, I can assure you that you have nothing to worry about. Yes, he was great, I loved him, I would currently consider him the love of my life, but we broke up. It's over. I wouldn't take him back because it would never be the same as it was, and I'm not even interested in anyone else right now, much less in a 5-year-long relationship. People break up for a reason and they find new people, and while I will never have the same love as I did for him, that doesn't mean I won't find someone or something that is better and who I love more. It won't be the same, but that's okay. Clearly it wasn't good, because if it was it wouldn't have ended. You need to read the update. What did it say? It was removed. I think you should tell her what happened, what you heard, how you feel, etc., or it will eat away at you. Definitely don't just end your relationship with a vague, fake reason. I'd hear her out before ending things. Maybe you heard her outside of context. It's doubtful since saying he'd always be the love of my life is pretty concrete, but I'd still argue hearing her out. I'd personally end the engagement and just continue working on the relationship. Have her do the work to prove that you aren't second best, and make her propose just so you know she isn't settling with someone because they asked. It's also worth noting that this perfect guy dumped her. They aren't meant for one another, and she's probably just fixated on the idea of what he represented to her, and not the actual guy. Either way, I don't think you should stay engaged. Breaking up would be understandable, but I'd personally at least try to make things work. That would involve confronting her, and canceling the engagement because she's clearly not ready to be engaged. I also hate to say it, but you might be a rebound, especially if you met up right after they broke up. With all that said, you're still owed an explanation. Breaking up without telling her why would serve no purpose, and I'd imagine you'd like her to clear a few things up. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.